The pink pill is the pink pill now. Put your pinkies up now, up now, up. Live well to the extreme now. Put your pinkies up now, up now, up.
Hey, it's Pinky. You're on the Pink Pill YouTube channel. Be a love and like, share, and subscribe. Pinkies up.
Hey Pinkies, it's that time of year. If you're with your boo and he's serious about you, it's gonna be time for you to meet the parents and the extended family. So how do you do that and make a great first impression? Because let's face it, usually when a guy introduces you to his family, it's because he's looking for their approval to be more serious with you and take this relationship to the next level. That's a lot you have at stake. So here's some tips on what you can do to make sure that you can create a fantastic first impression, leave everyone loving you and wanting to see more of you. So let's start first at the prep. Understand this, ladies. The fashion that you used that got the attention of your man is not necessarily the fashion that you should use when you are being introduced to his parents. What attracted you to him with how you dressed is not going to be the same when you go over to his mother's house and she sees what you look like. So the way that you do that is to do a little bit of homework. Does she have any social media pages? The mother, the father? How does she dress? Is she conservative? What are her favorite colors? Do a little research and find out how she dresses, and you might even subtly be able to mirror those things in a way that she feels like, okay, she's one of us. You also want to make sure that your appearance is modest. Again, the same look that you had to get him is not going to be the same look that's going to get his mother excited about you being her daughter-in-law. So make sure that you keep that in mind. And the day of, make sure that you've prepped by envisioning yourself having a wonderful time. This is what athletes do all the time. They will see in their mind's eye making that three-point basket, getting that touchdown. And what happens with the brain is it will try to make it true. So envision yourself having a wonderful time. The day of, understand this, that first impressions happen between 0 and 2 seconds, just that quickly. It happens before you even open your mouth. It starts when they first see you. So let's go to getting out of the car. Do you know how to get out of the car? You might be observed that way. Practice doing that. Your walk, the way that you hold your head, your posture, are all things that people will interpret about you before you even open your mouth. So be mindful of that people are taking you in, the way that you walk, the way that you use your gestures with your hands and your arms, your facial expressions. Okay? So now that we understand we need to have good posture, we need to have a friendly face and a genuine smile, we're dressed appropriately, we've done our homework, and we know a little bit about his parents now. Because one thing you don't want to do is show up empty-handed. How cool would it be if we had our very own social media network that had all the benefits of our favorite sites, just without all of the intrusion, lack of privacy, bullying, and taunting and trolling? Wouldn't that be amazing? How cool would it be if all of us intelligent, quirky Black women who don't fit the community mold got together and networked, communed, encouraged each other in a safe, supportive environment? What is unfortunate is that social media is becoming increasingly less safe for women like us. In order to preserve our peace, we have to go underground, and that's exactly what I did. The Pink Pill Underground is the first fully interactive social media platform created just for us. There is currently nothing out there like it. Not only do we do all of the social media that you're used to, we have live and virtual events, courses every month, new courses every month, groups for your interests, everything from survival to financial to book clubs. We even have once a year a gala and a yacht party. I've thought of everything. It is all encompassing and it is just for us. The Pink Pill Underground is by invitation and acceptance only. If you are interested in joining us on the Pink Pill Underground, you're gonna have to fill out the wait list, fill out the NDA, and go through our screening process. If we think you're a fit, then you can join us for an amazing community of like-minded women. But the first step is to get on the wait list, which is just in that link right below. The way that you can really captivate and ingratiate yourself to the parents is a thoughtful gift. Never show up anywhere without a gift for the hostess. Most of us will give a bottle of wine, a candle, a plant, something like that. But what's really going to get you to stand out is if you are a little bit more creative about what you pick, that you've done your homework and you found out that his mother likes gardening and you bought her some seeds in a cute little pot. Or his father loves a particular football team and you gave him a hat. Something that shows that you appreciate that person, that you acknowledge that that person is important to you, and that what is important to them is also important to you. Because remember, everyone wants three things in life. That is approval, acceptance, and appreciation. The way you show your appreciation is by doing your homework ahead of time and saying that to his parents and to his extended family that what they value, you value also, or at least that you appreciate it. Okay? So now we've presented the gift and we're saying hello to the parents. Here's a little etiquette tip. Don't call them by their first name until specified to do so. Call them by Mrs. or Mr. or Miss and Mr. or Doctor, if that's the case, and their last name, until they tell you that it is okay for you to call them by their first name or by a nickname. It is not appropriate to ask that person if you can call them that. You wait until you are invited to do so. Okay, so you're in, you've complimented the surroundings, and you've tried to get them talking about something that they're enthusiastic about. The next thing is, if there's a dinner being served, if there's drinks being served, offer to help. Even if the answer is no, you always offer to help and be helpful. Now when it comes to interacting with other people, interacting not only with his parents, but maybe his siblings, cousins, uncles, aunts. How do you do that? It's important to speak to everyone and introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to say, hello, my name is Chris. I'm a friend of Ted's. I'm so glad to meet you. It takes a lot of pressure off of your guy in that he doesn't have to babysit you all the time, and it also displays your competency as being able to successfully navigate in his family without having someone by your side all of the time. Also make sure that when it comes to building rapport, let's talk about mirroring. So wherever you are in a situation in which you are trying to make connections with people, subtle mirroring helps to facilitate more closeness between the two of you. If you can find a way to match their speech, their tone, their pace, the way they move their arms and hands when they speak, the way that they smile, the way that they stand, the way that they hold their hands at their hips, if you can find ways to subtly mirror them, they are also going to feel like you are one of them. And also, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. Be observant of how the family traditions are being conducted. Be observant of how people eat, how people speak, what people talk about. These are all important because you want to make sure that you fit in and they know that you're going to be a good fit for their family. With everything else that's going on in the world, you might be tempted to talk about some headlines that are controversial. Just simply don't do it. Don't bring it up. And if somebody asks your opinion on something controversial, you might want to try to redirect that conversation, ask them what they think about it, and say, wow, that's an interesting take. I never thought about it. Or if they're asking you how you feel, you might want to say, you know, I don't know enough information to really make an intelligent opinion, but I think that your position is really interesting and I'm going to have to think more about that. When you do that, you're not insulting anyone, you're not revealing any information that is related to your own political beliefs or your beliefs about what's going on in the world. You satisfy that desire of people wanting to get your opinion, and you're able to kind of get away unscathed. Make sure that whenever a situation comes up where you're uncomfortable with the conversation, try to redirect it to the other person so that you're not on the spot. And when it comes to speaking with other people and having small talk, be mindful of really listening to what they have to say and showing sincere interest in what they're saying. Be a good listener. A good listener doesn't just sit quietly, because we all know that you're not supposed to interrupt. We know that we're supposed to sit quietly until it's our turn to speak, but there's more to it than that. Be truly engaged in what that person has to say. I want to tell you something that I do. I make it a game. If I'm going out somewhere, I try to see how much I can learn about a person to fill up a page in my notebook. I make it a challenge to myself. If I'm focused on learning about the other person, everything that I do is going to be about that. All of that information gathering is going to be directed towards that. You might be tempted to talk a lot about yourself. You may think, this is like a job interview, or I'm trying out for something and I need to show that I'm worthy. The truth of the matter is this: people who talk more about themselves than listening to others are liked less than people who listen to others and show a genuine interest in what they have to say. So the way that you show that you're plugged in and that you're listening is that you give those listening signals. That means good eye contact, smiling, tilt of the head, leaning in. But it also means reframing or rephrasing some of the things that they've said so that it shows that you're actually listening to them. So if they're talking about golf and they're talking about their great swing with their new club, and you say, wow, that's really cool. How often do you need to get new clubs? Or why are clubs so important to playing good golf? You're going deeper and trying to find out more about something that is passionate for them and makes their face light up. The goal is to make their face light up and get them talking more and more. The more they talk, the more they like you. And listen, if you ever need a break, take a break. Go to the bathroom, excuse yourself, regroup, take some deep breaths, give yourself some solitude, be in your quiet place. For me, as an introvert, I need to have those breaks in between being on, because it's a lot of work for me. I don't feel charged by being around people. I get recharged by being by myself. I feel drained when I'm around a lot of people. If you're like that, make sure that you take lots of breaks. So now the evening has been great. You've met all of the in-laws. They love you. Everybody's had a great time. You've modulated your drinking. Even though everybody else has been drinking, you've kept your drinks down to 1 or 2. You've kept your wits about you. You've spoken to everybody, introduced yourself, shown genuine interest, offered to help. And when you leave, you give a hug, you give a handshake, transfer that warmth that you feel inside to that person, give them that shot of oxytocin. And when all is said and done, make sure that you follow up with a thank you note, a handwritten thank you note. Say specifically what you enjoyed about that encounter of meeting that person or meeting with that person, and thank them for the privilege of sharing a meal with them. All of these things will ensure that you are going to give an excellent first impression to your significant others, extended family, and to their parents and siblings. It'll all work out. Take it easy, visualize. You got this, girl. And until next time, pinkies up.